Hello humans and welcome to episode 39 of Chef Mike Does Stuff. I of course am Chef Mike because it says so right here on my chef coat, which now is way too big because I'm down almost 40 pounds. So if you're a chef coat company that wants to sponsor somebody, I need a new chef coat. Anyway, thank you guys very much for liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting that bell. I appreciate all of your support. If you are a brand that has a product, a piece of equipment, or a tasty food item that you'd like featured on Chef Mike Does Stuff, email me at chefmikedoesstuff@gmail.com. Just like my sponsor today, which is G Fuel, hiding in my air fryer. You can use code Chef Mike starting on January 7th. You could get a massive discount till I think maybe the 10th. Might be 20%, might be 30%. You just got to put Chef Mike as the code and you could get a sweet discount. Now, today, as you can see, as I remove the G Fuel from my brand spanking new air fryer, I got this for Christmas. Did not ask for it. Excited to have it. This is not sponsored by any kind of air fryer or this company. I want to see if you can air fry a steak. I've air fried a bunch of stuff since I've got it. I've gotten tater tots, French fries, a bunch of frozen foods, all this stuff. I did a steak once, just tried it, and there's a couple things I'm going to adjust to see how it turns out today. I have 2 New York strip steaks. They're not the best steaks. They're not expensive. They're not Kobe or Wagyu or Prime for that matter. They're from the local place just in the butcher shop, the cheap stuff. I don't care. I'm doing some R&D work. And before I forget, make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. You're not going to miss when Chef Mike Does Stuff. You know, my usual spiel. Anyway, so today we are going to work on air frying a steak. First thing I'm going to do to these 2 steaks right here is salt both sides. I'm not going to use any crazy seasonings just because I don't want anything to burn just yet. I haven't had as much experience with this particular air fryer as other people have. However, I'm going to stop you all right there when you start telling me, oh, it's just like a convection oven. Yes, I'm very well aware. Maybe you didn't know that I have developed intense, crazy cooking procedures for pieces of equipment, both in food service and retail, that do convection, conventional, radiant, microwave, and steam injection all at the same time in different stages and phases to get the appropriate final product out of your cooking apparatus. I have spent days and weeks testing food items multiple times to ensure it's cooked properly. So I can handle my little air fryer here, okay? I'm just letting you know that. I'm very well aware that it's pretty much a convection oven. Why it might be a great idea for you to have, if you've got kids and you're using your main oven for your stuff and your kids want whatever. If you're just reheating, if you're just, you don't have a convection oven, you have a small place and your oven heats up the house or whatever. I don't know about the power levels, how much energy this uses compared to my stove. That is something that y'all can look up if that is a concern for you. So can't help you there. The other thing to note is that this is my air fryer. This is my brand, my style, and the cuts of meat that I got. There are so many variables that will change how long it cooks, how efficient your air fryer is, how thick the steak is, what kind of steak it is. All of these different variables will affect an overall cook time. So don't just use what I'm going to do as the result, as the answer, because it might be different for you. Anyway, back to the steak after I went on my rant for a couple minutes. I appreciate it. I'm just going to season these with salt and pepper. I'm going to let these sit in my fridge for about a half hour, just on the plate, not even covered or anything. I just like some of that salt to kind of get absorbed into the meat. It's almost like a little dry brine. If you are cooking steaks, I recommend you either season it and cook it right away, or season it and let it sit at least 15 minutes to a half hour, if not longer, before you cook it, just so that the salt doesn't do little tricks on the old meat. You could look that up yourself. So I got salt and pepper here. Gonna let it sit for a half hour. We'll be back with the overhead cam where I'm gonna put some avocado oil on it. after I did some testing before. The browning is one of the issues, so I'm going to rub these steaks with avocado oil, which is a high heat oil, and we're going to see what happens. So I will see you in a few minutes over the cool cutting board, which now that I've had raw meat close to it, I need to clean again, but I'm going to do it. Steaks are out of the fridge. The air fryer I've been running. It is nice and warm. So all I'm going to do is drizzle just a little bit of, not olive oil. You could use olive oil, but I'm using avocado oil. One of the reasons is smoke point, really high. If you use something like butter or a low heat oil, you might get a lot more smoke, a little more scorch, and I don't want that. We just want maximum browning. Okay, like so. And then let me wash my hands real quick. One of the things that I noticed with the air fryer, the big concern I've seen on the internet is browning. So that is why we are adding this oil to it. There may be some ways to adulterate your equipment, like raise this little thing up higher so it's closer to the air. Probably not recommended by the manufacturer, so we ain't gonna do that. So all I'm gonna do, woo, that's hot. Okay, you could hear some sizzle. Back in there, highest I could go is 450 degrees. We're gonna set it for 12 minutes, and there's a little shake function where I'm gonna flip this in 6 minutes, and let's see what happens. G Fuel. All right, it's been the first half. Browning doesn't look half bad on that side. We do need to flip it. All right, let's see what happens. And there we go. Still needs 3 more minutes. So we're at about 100 and what were we at? 125 on that one. Oh, maybe we're good. Okay, we're leaving it. This is what we got so far. Obviously the presentation side's a little better as far as overall browning. You know, when you grill it, probably gets a little more of that Maillard browning reaction, all the tasty goodness, as well as like a cast iron or something. But this does not look horrible. So I'm gonna let this rest for about 5-10 minutes, and then we're gonna cut into it for some food porn. While it's resting, I'm gonna take some glamour shots, and we're gonna see what happens. This is the part where I find out that I forgot to turn on my new wireless microphone. So the rest of the video has absolutely no audio. And since I only cook the 2 steaks, I'm just going to voice over the rest because I always leave all my mistakes in because that's how I roll. This is probably me talking about how if you have a different kind of air fryer, use a different kind of steak, have a different thickness of steak, have another cooking method. Don't use this method as a this is how I should cook it. You're going to need to play around. Maybe your air fryer is better, it's stronger, whatever. So this is not 100% the only way you could do it. But from visually looking at it, it's got a little bit of browning. I could have, I personally like more cast iron or grill where you get a little more Maillard browning reaction for all that flavor development, which is delicious. But it is what it is. What are you going to do? I tried to shoot for a medium. This is where I cut it open. Let's see what it looks like inside. I tried to shoot for a medium, but once again, never used this piece of equipment before or this thickness of steak. A little closer to medium well-ish. So I could have used a minute or 2 less, but that's okay. I think you saw when I jabbed it with a thermometer, I got a couple different readings. Here I go ahead and cut open the other one to see its doneness. Yeah, probably medium, closer to medium well. That's okay. Tastes like steak. I'm pretty sure that after I cut it and eat it, I'd say, you know what? Tastes like a steak. So from my perspective, you can totally cook a steak in an air fryer. If you are a brand that wants your product featured in a Chef Mike Does Stuff video, just like G Fuel was, make sure to email me at chefmikedoesstuff@gmail.com and we'll make some magic happen. And for everyone else out there who've liked, shared, subscribed, hit the bell, told everybody I exist, I cannot thank you enough. Please keep doing that because you are not gonna wanna miss when Chef Mike does stuff. Okay, I'm just going to keep talking, and then this will probably end in a random comment because I don't know how long this video actually ends because I'm using a very inexpensive editing software. So it might end right now because it looks like it's